now, TJ Cates and Jill Santibanez.
Right here. I feel like they do roll call like in school. I graduated summer school in Hillcrest in Whitehaven. They helped me get a credit and a half. So I feel like we're doing roll call in summer school. Summer school is a lot more fun than regular school. Did you go to summer school or you just were a good student?
I did go to summer school only because I took extra electives and I thought it was a good idea. So I didn't have to do those electives to make my actual regular school longer. Because I had electives, I had athletics. And when you do athletics, you do zero period, which is before school starts. And then you do it after school. So I went to summer school so I could take extra classes.
So the answer is yes.
Extra classes.
Yeah, okay. Extra classes.
Right. Electives,
good.
More electives.
I took driver's ed, DECA, junior achievement, typing 1, typing 2, foods 1, foods 2, anything that you can get a credit for.
That's nice.
So,
and you're a really good cook, so I think it paid off.
I ended up being a really good cook and really good at math. That's what I got out of school.
You are really good at math.
Do my spell checking for me. So now there's actually a button on Facebook when you make a post that corrects your grammar. And I hit that button the other day and I'm like, holy cow, I was so far away from getting my grammar.
You know what's a funny word is nostalgia.
I thought it was massagia, like where you go and it's like a massage convention, like reflexology. We need to get a reflexology.
Right, I know.
Sponsor. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Those are more popular in Tennessee.
Nostalgia, for some reason, when I was trying to promote this, I was thinking N-A, but nostalgia is N-O.
Those are questions that never hit my mind.
I don't type out nostalgia.
Maybe. Yeah. We're going to talk about
nostalgia.
The Nostalgia Festival in this episode. It's coming down the Whispering Woods, which was Holiday Inn's training center.
It's called the MidSouth Nostalgia Festival, and it's going to be in Olive Branch, June 6th through the 8th.
And I've been going to it the past few years with Mark Randall, and it has some big names coming and some really cool stuff. My dad and I used to go because Dad was raised on Westerns. So I would go with him downtown Memphis, and we would go and watch the old serials. And they're short movies now. They call them serials.
That's cool. How long were these movies?
Some of them maybe 15 minutes or so or shorter. And they would share in between. And then Alan Rocky Lane was my favorite of the Cowboys back then. For some reason, I thought he was so cool. And Mark Randall from Soto Times Paper.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Kimberly.
He told me that Alan Rocky Lane didn't come out of the way as rich, like as a Roy Rogers or something. And he actually was the voice of the horse on Mr. Ed. I always thought that was really cool.
Mr. Ed was a great show. We used to watch it.
We have Keith Burns, which was the male side of Trick Pony, and he's going to be at this festival.
We met him at City Winery in Nashville.
We've seen him around Nashville. Really good songwriter.
About
great,
6 years ago.
Really cool guy, taking care of himself healthy-wise, so he's doing great. Patrick Duffy from Dallas, and also
Step by Step. Our
So
friend Angela Watson that we interviewed a few weeks ago, she and he worked together.
I spoke with his representation yesterday, and they're going to get us to get him to do a call-in. Who else do we have? We have Greg Evigan. He actually was on BJ and the Bear because back whenever Convoy and Smokey and the Bandit and all the CB radios, which
the truckers.
Whenever that was so popular, he was a truck driver, but he had a monkey riding with him, kind of similar to Any Which Way But Loose.
That is so funny. I've never seen the show. I think I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen a whole episode.
He was also in with Paul Reiser and My Two Dads. We're two dads. We're trying to raise a girl because they didn't know which one was the father. Anyway, we're gonna grab him. We got Diamond Farnsworth, Linda Pearl, which I'm excited to talk to because she was on Matlock, and a little blonde-haired lady, and she actually got to work with Andy Griffith, and I just can't imagine the stories and the sweetness that went on there. We've got
we love that show, Andy Griffith.
Buck Taylor. We're gonna talk about him. Patrick Wayne, John Wayne's son. I've met him a couple times before down at this event. So anyway, we're gonna have Ray Nielsen. And we're going to have him on the show in just a little bit. He's going to give us a bit more in depth about how he puts this thing together every year. He's trying to keep it alive.
Right.
And this is a really cool event. You just come straight down Hicks Cross out of Memphis, and you take a left right there at Goodman Road, and it's at the big hotel. And it's downstairs to the right because I'm going to take my dad. And he doesn't walk a lot.
This is so cool because some people, you go to movies, right? You go to movies, you watch shows.
When do we ever go to movies?
But
what's the last movie we went to?
Well, we did watch Roadhouse in our home box office.
I really liked it. And I'm a big fan
but it was
of
on Amazon. But anyway, I was going to say, but when you go to nostalgia festivals, when you go to things like this, you're actually hearing from the artists about the shows, the movies, everything that they've been in, and the actors that they've worked with. And it's really interesting because they do Q&As, and you get to take pictures, you get to buy their merchandise. It's a lot of fun. And especially when it's close by, because some people have to drive out of town. A lot of these things, these nostalgia festivals, they're in Jackson.
It's kind of like a fan.
But this is going to be,
expo.
and this is going to be in Olive Branch. So, and it's very family friendly. You can bring your kids and walk around and make a fun day out of it.
Have you ever been there with me?
No, I haven't.
You have all the facts exactly right.
Well, we've been to things like this before.
Yeah, we like those.
We've been to really fun things like this
Some people
before.
drive really far, but I think it's cool that now they're starting to open the door for more people.
We went to a Comic-Con in Nashville, remember?
Yeah.
That was fun.
We met. What is the guy? Napoleon Dynamite. We met Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Margot Kidder from the Superman movies.
Yes.
Yeah, we met.
So many great
Tyler
people.
Dane, the guy that played, was he Jason or was he Friday the 13th or was he Halloween? I get that guy confused.
Halloween.
Okay. Yeah, you interviewed
Mike
him.
Myers.
He was like 7 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
Has a production company in Atlanta, still makes movies himself.
He's doing a lot.
He's a director and
it's
writer.
really cool.
We need to grab him.
He's into that whole horror
we should
genre.
Totally reach out to him.
Well, what's cool too is
holiday special.
You can really kind of shadow those people and the things that they've done, like with our film, The Haunted Farmhouse, which is on Amazon. Everybody can watch it today, and just the people that interview them, and it's like its own. It's like its own thing. Like people have like a huge following, just like these Comic-Cons and nostalgia festivals. People follow these all year long.
Yeah.
Just to see where they can go.
We got our first report from Amazon Prime on what happened with our movie. We put it out there, and I was really blown away by the thousands of people that have watched our movie.
Thank you, everybody.
Exciting. So thank you so much for all that. We're in the production.
And we've only had it
now.
out since January, so we've gotten some good
feedback.
We're
in production for Cadillac Jack, which is our feature film that we're filming this year right now in our free time. And we're gonna film.
Where's the free time?
We're gonna grab a little bit of that in Nashville. We've got some actors in Nashville. We're gonna actually film up there, and we're gonna film some. We're gonna go all over and grab this one instead of just one place. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and grab Ray. Unless there's anything else we're talking about. Wait a minute. We're gonna come back and talk about a new TV series that Jill's really excited about. But I say we jump into it.
Let's talk to Ray first.
No, let's hear about your show because you were just talking about it, and this is pretty good. Go ahead. Tell me what you're so excited about. Reese Witherspoon.
Yes. So Reese Witherspoon, she's actually coming out with a new show, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to be kind of based on Legally Blonde, and it's going to be with the creators of, if you've ever seen the show, The OC. I was actually in The OC as an actress in Los Angeles.
You lived in OC, too.
I did. I'm from Orange County. Yes. But when I filmed The OC, it was at the 5 Spot, if anybody has seen that. It was at the 5 Spot, the little scene that I had, and it was actually filmed in Los Angeles County. So it's really funny that the OC wasn't actually filmed in the OC.
Don't tell me stuff like that. I literally thought, because I was raised in Westwood, if you know where that is, down by the Southwest Twin Drive-In, and that's when they shot Gilligan's Island.
It was actually filmed in Manhattan Beach.
And but
just the 5 Spot scene. Go ahead.
How much coffee did you have this morning?
None. You had 2 cups.
Each other, and I feel like I should raise my hand to talk. I'm back in summer school at Hillcrest.
I slept less than you did too. You
anyway,
didn't have a good night's sleep.
We rode by and they're putting in the piping and everything, and my dad told me we're riding down the road and they're putting in new neighborhoods. And I'm just kidding with Jill. She doesn't even drink caffeine. I don't know how she gets so much energy, but I literally thought that they were filming Gilligan's Island down the street from my house. No response at all. Let's go and get Ray on the phone.
We're going to talk about the show.
Ray's ready. Hey, Ray.
Yes.
Hey, man. We're just jibber-jabbering, just talking on a Saturday morning. And let's introduce yourself and what you do and why you do it, and then we'll get into the stars that are showing up.
Well, my name is Ray Nielsen. I live in Conway, Arkansas. I'm a school teacher, Catholic school here in Conway.
That's awesome.
But my avocation is memorabilia, television, classic shows, movies from the past. And I've been involved with this since 1980, actually.
Great year.
The first festival I ever attended, the festival we're doing now goes back to 1972. It was called the Western Film Collectors Association at that time. I was not involved then, but it started in 1972 at the Peabody before it shut down for a decade. And it was there for 2 or 3 years, and then the Peabody closed down. for a decade or more.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
And
Renovations.
later
Totally
bought by
forgot
the
about that.
Bells Corporation and reopened, and now it's, back like it was many years ago. But so the festival moved to Nashville for a while because one of the persons who started it was from there originally. And then it sort of revived in the mid-'70s. So I attended the first time at the old Rivermont Hotel, which is now condos.
I'm pretty sure I was there with my dad at the Rivermont. I remember that. It used to be a Holiday Inn, Rivermont.
Right.
I believe. Yeah.
Right. And so I went in 1977 and was really enthused about what they were doing. And finally, in 1980, it reformed again, and we called ourselves the Memphis Film Festival. And it wasn't copyrighted or anything, we just used that name for quite a while until about 2004, I guess it was, because there was, and I guess still is, some kind of independent film festival.
It is. Yeah, they call it the Memphis Film Festival, too.
And people would get us confused, Again, we're about classic movies, classic TV shows.
They do a lot of
People
shorts.
would call us and say, "Can we enter our film in your festival?"
Yeah.
We'd say, "No, we don't do that." And so finally, about 3 or 4 years ago, we decided to change the name to the MidSouth Nostalgia Festival. We began it at the Whispering Woods there in Olive Branch, and we're there from 2005 to about 2012. Then we moved to Tunica for a while until COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then we came back to Olive Branch 2 years ago in 22. And so we're doing it again June 6th through 8th at the Whispering Woods in Olive Branch. What we do is we show these classic films from the, say, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and television episodes, and we invite back people who worked in them.
That's so exciting.
And, there are enough people around who remember some of these shows.
Oh, yeah.
And the people in them that they want to meet them. And so we bring these people in. They meet the fans. They sign autographs, take photos. We do panels with them where they reminisce about their
a real film festival.
careers. We have a radio recreation where we take an old radio script and we have some of the celebrities there play the parts. For example, this year we're doing a Gunsmoke episode.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
That is cool.
That was originally done, in the late 50s, this particular radio episode. And we're going to have Patrick Duffy playing Matt Dillon.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool, man.
And an actress named Belinda Montgomery, who worked with him on a lot of people don't know that before Patrick Duffy did Dallas, he had a show called Man from Atlantis. It was only on for about a year or so, kind of a sci-fi thing. And Belinda Montgomery was with him on that series. So she's going to be Miss Kitty. And then the other people
who ran the bar. If you never watched it,
can play other parts. So
who's playing Festus?
We also have a dance on Thursday night, and Alex Ward, who some people in Memphis surely know, he's been a DJ there for years.
He's been around forever, man. He's a good friend of my dad's.
Yeah, so he plays these old favorites, and people dance to them.
He used to do the Pig and Whistle or something, didn't he?
Yes, right. Now we're what are they called? Pink and Black Days or something?
Yeah, that was cool.
Sirius Radio, I think. He does that.
Yeah, I remember that. That's good times, man. Who's playing Festus? Do you have a Festus yet?
Well, no, this is before Festus.
Oh, this is pre-Festus.
This would be Chester.
I'm kind of want to see a Gunsmoke without Festus. We listen to a lot of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Sometimes we just that's something we don't watch TV a whole lot. So sometimes we'll listen to that to kind of wind down in the stories, and it's really intriguing to listen to the old radio shows.
And then they have sound effects, and it's really neat. They really put you in the story.
It comes across as a play.
Gunsmoke as a form of entertainment actually started on the radio by 1952.
Yeah.
William Conrad, who was later known as Cannon on television.
Yeah.
He was the original Matt Dillon on radio.
Did not know that.
And then, of course, James Arness got the role on television. He came to TV in 1955.
He kind of had a John Wayne look about him, in a way, just the big masculine.
Well, he worked with John Wayne a lot. He was under contract with John Wayne for a few years before he took the. Matter of fact, the very first Gunsmoke episode that ran, the very first one, John Wayne introduced it and told the fans that he thought that Arness was going to really be liked, and he encouraged them to watch the show and that sort of thing. I
know Clint Eastwood, who's like in his 90s now and still making movies. Who also did a movie with he had a orangutan and Any Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can and those fun movies, but. He started out on, I guess, Rawhide. Was that possibly his first cowboy?
1958 or 9.
Yeah. He's been around a while, and people think he always did movies. So there wasn't a big thing to do TV and movies back then, but now we think it's kind of fun. Jill was talking about a show with one of your favorite actors, Ray. It's Reese Witherspoon. I'm just kidding. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. But she's excited about she's coming in and doing a TV series. So
my grandpa.
Going to play. Excuse me, you asked who was going to play Fest as well. Fest isn't in this episode. It's Chester. Proudfoot, I think what they called him on the radio. An actor named Darby Hinton. I don't know if you know him, but...
Yeah, I do know the name. Who is that?
Series was on back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
What would I know him from? Because I know the name.
He played the Fess Parker's son, Israel Boone.
That's awesome.
And so he's going to be Chester.
And Patrick Duffy is going to be the marshal. How cool, man.
Right.
They should come back and make a Gunsmoke movie. I think that'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to say my grandpa, he passed away in the 1990s, but he was in the tile business, and he helped lay the tile for Inez's beach house in Newport, which is John Wayne's wife.
That's a really neat story.
Yeah.
Now, Buck Taylor was on Gunsmoke, wasn't he? The TV series?
He started on Gunsmoke about 1967 or 8.
Mm-hmm. He's on your Nostalgia Festival.
Through the end of the series.
We met him last year, and he's a really cool guy, and he has pictures of all the Westerns, and I think he was even on Yellowstone a couple episodes.
Yes, he was.
So
they killed him off, though.
Yeah.
They killed him off on the show, or he died naturally. He wasn't shot.
Well, in the Westerns, when you got shot, you died naturally, I think. But he's an incredible painter. He's an artist, and he sells his paintings.
Oh, he's a watercolor artist of great
watercolor.
Now.
So I really enjoyed talking to him. He was really, really kind. And you look in his eyes and his face and tell he's still that young man right there, and he wears his Western clothes. I really enjoyed it, and there's a lot of memorabilia. I bought my dad a couple things, but this year my dad's 83, 84, and he used to always take me to those festivals, I guess the Memphis Film Festivals, which you called it back then. And so he's really excited because, he's 84. He's
Your
in the
dad
Army.
reads his Western novels,
He reads a Western novel.
He loves them.
Every 2 days he's read another book. But he's going to go with me this year. And the good thing about where we're going, they have their little circle entrance because it is a big hotel. It used to be a hotel. So you park right out front. You come in the open doors, and the first room to your right, that's where the Nostalgia Festival is. It's not like going down where you have to park in a parking garage and go forever to get there and stand in line. I love the setup.
We went through that in Memphis a lot.
Yeah, we did. Hey, I think the first time I saw Superman was on a laser disc at the film festival or Nostalgia Festival back around, I guess, the first one came out in 77, 78.
The first Superman.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. And the graphics on the opening credits.
There was a fellow named Kirk Allen who played Superman for the first time in movies. It was Serial. And then George Reeves did the television show. And then, of course, the
Christopher Reeves did the movie.
Much later, but...
Yeah, I think it was the Christopher Reeves movie, and I saw the Creature of Black Lagoon there. I thought that was cool. I'd never seen that story before.
You had Julie Adams, who was the female star.
I love the way they shot that. It really felt like you're in the swamps of Florida, and it was...
We showed it in 3D. We're there at the...
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, that's
3D is
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
We issued the glasses and all that.
What happens if you wear eclipse glasses and watch a 3D movie? I guess you just don't see it.
You don't see it.
What if you look at the eclipse with 3D glasses?
I just
then you're going to hurt your eyes.
We're not going to do any of that.
You're not going to do any of that.
But
I'm going to make sure.
Remind me.
I have to reel TJ in some of his ideas.
The city of Olive Branch has given away 4,000, which is where your event
eclipse
is.
Glasses.
They're giving away 4,000 eclipse glasses, and every time I go by City Hall, which is like twice a week, they give me more glasses. I'm like, I've got more glasses than you guys do. But last year you had Ponch and John from Chips, and you had, and then the Mayor Ken, who I've talked to, and Jade Nichols.
Hi,
They're
Mayor
going to come to your
Ken.
event again.
And Miss Angela, his wife.
Yeah, they came last year and they made him honorary.
The Olive Branch Police Department brought in a motorcycle,
Mm-hmm.
and we had it indoors there at the hotel, and fans could pose with it and the three guys from Chips.
Isn't that awesome?
Eric Estrada, who are the other two?
I know he's got the name. He's got the name, but he was there. But but that was really cool. So I know Mayor Ken and everybody's helping promote, that people know that this is going on, and we're going to continue to promote. I did get the emails from you, so I started reaching out to different people, and you told me that the lady I was talking to for Patrick Duffy, tell me that story on there, because she's married to Timmy from Lassie.
Yeah, of course, the Lassie started on TV about 1963,
Great show.
I think, and there was a different boy on it then, and his name was Tommy Reddick, but he grew up, and so they replaced him with John Provost,
mm-hmm.
and he played Timmy on Lassie from, I think it was about 1955 or 6 through the end of the series, and his wife is Lori Jacobson, who's a talent agent, and matter of fact, they were at our festival a few years ago.
I'll tell you a little circle of life on that story. Is her husband that played Timmy on Lassie, he was in Memphis in 1950 whatever, and he was in Memphis, and he came to the window. My mom, after school at Messick, she would walk over at Park and Highland across the street from the Park Theater, and she had a little snow cone place. They did cotton candy and snow cone and popcorn. It was kind of festive. And he actually came to the window and got a snow cone. And my mom told me this story yesterday again, and she said, that's so cool. She said, you didn't see a lot of stars, especially one that you saw on TV every week. And I asked him what he was doing in town. He said he's here. They're staying with the Kimmons-Wilson family. And Kimmons-Wilson in Memphis, if you remember, he was the founder of Holiday Inn and
yes.
the Wilson, and it was the Wilson World. So where you're having your event at, that she's booking talent at, was actually Kimmons-Wilson Training Center for the people before they went and started working at the hotels. So I just like it, connecting all those dots together whenever you explained who it was. So I did tell her about that connection. So, dude, all right, so what do you need? You need people to go ahead and pre-purchase tickets, or just
that's not
come to the
necessary
event?
for local people. I mean, it's, we used to have and still do have a lot of people from other parts of the country come to the festival. As a matter of fact, we've had people from Australia, from Canada, from Japan, from Germany. So obviously they're going to fly in and stay for 3 days, but the local people aren't going to stay at the hotel. There's no need to.
But, just pop in and get a ticket.
We just want everybody in your area to know about us and just come by whenever they want to. We open on Thursday the 6th about 9 a.m. and it goes all day and into the night as far as screenings go and some of the other things we do, and it wraps up midday on Saturday the 8th.
We go
and there's a banquet that night where we give out awards to the celebrities, and there's entertainment. I don't know if you know Rob Haynes. He's an entertainer in the Memphis area, an excellent performer, and he has a band and they play, but we're going to have some of the guests perform with him.
Keith Burns,
I don't know
if you've never heard Keith Burns play, and I've been around him a lot in Nashville and Music Row, he is a super cool dude and a great guitar player, great performer. So don't be afraid to get him on stage.
He was part of that group.
Trig Pony.
Trig Pony, yes, right.
We did some fundraising efforts with them in Nashville, and he was there.
I don't know how well you remember the Bonanza series.
Yeah.
With
Lauren Green and
Michael Landon and Lauren Green and so on.
Michael Landon's awesome.
Near the end of the series, they added a character called Jamie. He became Jamie Cartwright. He was adopted.
I kind of remember that. I do remember that.
And so he's going to be performing too. He had a band after he grew up. He had a band for a while. And he's going to be performing there as well.
Awesome. I can't wait to go. What's the ticket range? I know free parking, which is a big deal. And Chief Cox, you're talking about the Olive Branch Police Department. They do a really good job with looking out for your cars while they're out there. So, Olive Branch is a really great place to be and feel safe to go in. So what are the ticket prices like when somebody comes in?
I don't have the data here in front of me, but it's about $30, I think.
Okay.
For each day.
That's great.
Which entitles you to come in, meet all the celebrities, watch the films, take part in the panels, everything.
Buy some memorabilia.
Right. Take pictures.
And we reduced the price a little bit on Saturday because, like most hotels, that big dealers area that you mentioned when you first come in, it's converted into a banquet hall. And it takes
you got to break it down.
To break all that down and reset up.
Right.
So the celebrities have to kind of shut down about noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's that afternoon that we do the radio show.
I want to be there.
That is so fun.
We actually have to leave to go out of town that Saturday. We're going to come by. I always come by on Friday because we have the CMA Festival in Nashville, and then we do work with the Grand Ole Opry. We're doing a Grand Ole Opry House. We're doing that on the Sunday.
Sunday morning country.
Yeah, we do Sunday morning country. So we'll actually have to jet off there for 3 days. But I'm going to definitely see you on Friday, and we'll catch up. We've still got a couple months to promote it, man. I greatly appreciate you and your time. I've shared this flyer on the Memphis Entertainment Weekly Facebook page so you can see everybody that's coming and reach out to them and go get a picture and get an autograph. And
people can join your group on Facebook if they want to hear more about it.
They can join your group on Facebook.
That's right. You have to apply to get on and all that. But
I just did that yesterday.
Jill got approved last night.
Thank you so much.
www.MidSouthNostalgiaFestival.com.
There you go. Well, thanks for your time, man. We're going to jump up and talk to a gold record.
I really appreciate this time because we really want. I can't tell you how many times, and we've heard this from people in your area. Later on, they'll say,
I didn't know anything about it.
The festival was taking place. I would have come.
I know.
Well, Mark Randall at the paper is going to put some stuff in the paper, too, and remind people. And we've got a couple shows in DeSoto County in Mississippi, Good Morning DeSoto, and we're also going to do this promotion on that. And then we've got Jay Nichols that's in charge of the Olive Branch City page, and then also Mayor Ken. So everybody's going to push it hard this year. We got ahead of it this year. But thanks so much, man. Have a great Saturday. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir. Bye.
That's going to be so much fun. Yeah, I remember that as a kid because my dad would go see the Westerns, and I kind of liked the little sci-fi, and I think that's why I got in to the sci-fi and the creatures of like the 50s and 60s, horror movies. And sometimes we'll go. We like horror movies. We'll Google. We found one on YouTube. They have a lot of free feature length movies that never made it to Prime. And
some people just don't know how to do the distribution thing. So
some of them can't quite get approved to do it. So I get it. So we find some, and then on YouTube, there's some old movies that got made in the 70s and 80s, and we watched them a few years ago. Those are pretty interesting. So
they are.
We like to not just watch the mainstream movies that are out there. We like to see some of the independent films. And
I was just going to say Michael Landon. I loved Michael Landon growing up. I watched Little House on the Prairie. My mom loved that show.
And he is actually the father of Tater that's on Yellowstone, actress.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. So this MidSouth Nostalgia Festival, again, it's going to be from June 6th to June 8th, and it's going to be at the Whispering Woods Hotel and Conference Center in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Thursday, June 6th, it's going to be the celebrity vendor room hours are going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then Friday, June 7th, the celebrity vendor room hours are going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. again. And then, like you said, on Saturday, June 8th, it's going to be a little shorter. And the celebrity vendor room hours are going to be from 9 a.m. to noon. And then they're going to have their radio show special. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a 3-day event.
We're going to go and get Kent, if you don't mind, Mr. Phillip, our sound engineer, studio producer.
Kent Maxson.
Musician extraordinaire.
He is an RIAA.
He's going to connect us with
gold
Kent Maxson.
record winner for his single, From Where I'm Sitting. And it was recorded by Gary Allen.
Gary Allen, what a great song. I like the sorrow in country music, and Gary Allen and Kent Maxson wrote this. He wrote this song. He wrote a song. He got a gold record when we met him. And
he's very accomplished. He's a CMA artist.
Let me know when he's up. I can't really tell by the monitor, Philip. Kent, are you there, buddy? It's got I have a smiley face and a question mark. I don't know what that means. And maybe I'm not Steve Conley doing music in Memphis. So maybe if Steve Conley's listening, you got my number, buddy. You can just kind of tell me what that means. A smiley face with a question mark.
He's a native. Kent Maxson is a native of Nashville, Tennessee.
Here we go. And I want to give a shout out real quick before we talk to Kent to Design Shop. I got to spend 3 hours with that man yesterday, Scott Guidry. And he actually told me on the morning we had a meeting, and he said, I was just driving around listening to your shows because the good thing about it is they're bankable because it's a podcast.
Scott
so you
lives
can go
in
back
Memphis.
and listen to these shows anytime you want to. So
yes.
if it's your birthday, if you got a birthday coming up, I always thought that was so much fun as a kid to talk about.
Announce people's birthdays.
Let's talk to Kent. What's up, Kent?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
Good
great,
morning.
buddy. How you been doing?
I've been doing great. Long time no talk.
I know. We're going to close out the show today with your song that you sent us last night.
Thank you so much for sending us your song.
You're such an incredible songwriter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kind words are always appreciated.
Well, you're a good guy, man.
So you've been playing out a lot in Nashville recently, and Randy Fincham, we're going to also interview him on our show. You all play out together. So where are some of the places that people can see you? Are you playing out? Are you doing any shows coming up?
Wow. I did the Bluebird in December, and I'm
Congratulations.
Playing, that was a thrill. And I'll be playing. I do the Commodore a little bit. I do Maxwell House. I haven't done the Listening Room in a while. I do a lot of house concerts. That's kind of my bread and butter and what I enjoy the most.
Explain what that is for people that are not in Music City.
Right.
Sometimes I'll say that, and they'll say, what is a house concert?
They're awesome. Basically, when I do one, I ask that they guarantee there'll be at least 20 people there. And so people open up their house, invite their friends over. Sometimes they'll have food and drinks, whatever. But then I and a friend of mine will come, and we set up shop in the living room, and sometimes it's been around a pool or a garage, wherever they can, host 20 people. And then we play songs, and we tell the stories behind the songs, and the audience gets to interact with us. They can ask. I think people enjoy the conversation as much as the music, just to get to know what the lifestyle is of a songwriter and a musician. But it's a fun event. Everyone gets to know each other a little bit better. We get fans, and they get to know a little bit more about the inside of what we do. What
I like about Songwriter Nights, and I'm a big fan of you and Randy Fincham too. I met him like 10 years ago. I met him, I guess, right after I met Jill. But the songwriter thing, which is really good, and I love it because Bluebird really has it going on, is you don't just jump into a song like a concert. You tell the story behind the song.
It's like
you
a
tell
listening room.
Why you wrote the song.
Right.
That's something I think it would help people connect with music a little bit.
And the Bluebird is so respectful.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking, if the songwriter is talking, then people listen. You're not supposed to talk. You go into the Bluebird knowing, and I think they even tell you, no phones, no conversations, just you're there to listen.
It's a magical environment. And of course, most of the songwriters around there are in the round where they're in the center of the entire room. And it's very intimate. I think that's the key word to it. It's very intimate. It's like having your best friend over and just getting to know them better.
That is so cool. And you've actually written songs, and you've collaborated with Garth Brooks. And I want to read this really cool quote from Garth Brooks about you. Garth Brooks said, Kent Maxson's the real deal. He is all about the music. What you see is what you get, and you're going to love it. Garth Brooks, you've had a long working relationship with him. That is really neat. Can we talk about that?
We can talk about it. I mean, I want to make sure. I never want to mislead people.
Right.
You're not. I consider Garth a friend. He considers me a friend. I'll talk and exchange emails and texts with him. We do not get together and hang out. We live in different worlds. But he has always been a wonderful, kind human being who has been very supportive of me. And every exchange that we've had has been, he's just as nice and gracious and humble as he was the day I met him. And I go back to before he had his recording contract. I mean, 1988, I think, is when we met.
Amazing.
So, yeah, he's. I don't think you can say enough kind superlatives about him as a person. We all know he's a great talent, but he is an incredible human being.
What does it take, to write? I know that, and we don't want to make it the Garth Brooks hour. I want to make sure it's the Kent Maxson hour. Don't worry about that. But the fact that the two of you got together and you wrote a song about one of your personal experiences, which I think is a cool story, and and then y'all wrote and then pitched, I guess, to Gary Allen. He recorded it and it became a gold record. I mean, dude, you're doing big stuff. So what does it take as a songwriter, like just to write a song? Do you have things that happen during the day or the week or the year, and then randomly something hits and like, okay, I'm just going to write? Do you start journaling? How does that process before you realize you've got a good song in your hands?
Well, as far as that particular song, that came out of, as you said, a personal experience of mine back in Lubbock, Texas, of all places. And you know, when you live life, some things just kind of stick in your craw, or they're memorable, or whatever. And I think as a songwriter, one of the things I do is, you know, it used to be a book. Now I carry around my iPhone, and I put down ideas, or what we call a hook book.
Okay.
And the whole thing, if you don't know the story behind the song, I basically was playing a show in Lubbock, and my ex-girlfriend showed up and was sitting in the lap on the front row of a former roommate of mine. And so I'm sitting there, and in my head, I think, I'm standing up here dying, you're sitting down there acting like a fool. Well, over time, you know, I literally, for about 3 or 4 years, that kept coming up, that image. And soon I turned it around. It became, from where I'm sitting, I can see where I stand. And I took that into the writing session with Garth, and the rest is history. In
everyday life, I guess you're still doing that. That's where you're getting your inspirations. I love your new song that you sent to us. What's the title of it? I listened to it this morning.
Yes. Go ahead.
Memories, Not Dreams.
And that's so Nashville, man. That's such a big deal. You know, you've got
such a great message.
You got to chase your dreams, and don't wait until it's too late and your life's over. And then you want to make sure you're making memories that you did chase those dreams, and you want to chase them and make them happen, dude. To me, you're one of the big hero stories, you know, in Nashville, because you've done big stuff, but you're constantly working, and here you are recently playing the Bluebird, and
I want to talk
how
about
important that was to you.
1998 Grammy nominations list for your song "From Where I'm Sitting." How did that all play out?
I didn't even know it. So I was living in Dallas at the time, and I got a phone call from my lawyer, and he said, "I just want you to know I voted for you."
Oh, wow.
I said, "For what?" Because I had no clue. And then so anyone, this voting thing goes out, there's this huge, the book's probably about, I'm going to say, a half inch, 3/4 inch thick of the songs, and for the different categories and all that. And so he invited me down to his office, and he gave me his copy of the nomination, and so I could have it for my, you know, my memoirs or whatever.
Right.
So that's how, you know, that song, everything that happened to it, I found out by accident. Like when I found out that it became a gold record, I found out because a friend called me and congratulated me. For what? You know, I had no clue.
You know why? It's because you're busy working. I think that happens a lot because you're concentrating on you're concentrating on the art. So like everything comes, but it's such a joy that you're getting recognition. So congratulations.
I mean, and now you're a CMA member, and that's super cool. But the fact that you've got that, just let me know that gold record is hanging where everybody can see it, and you can see it.
I know you need to brag about that a little bit.
Yeah, I know we met you. I think you said you had it faced another way because you felt like there's things you still want to accomplish. But that's great, man. I mean, that's a memory. Like in your song, that's a memory. It's not a dream anymore. You reached these perfect points, and you're still moving forward. And now you're playing I like the Commodore. That's a fun little place.
It is. We love Debbie Champion.
Room. Yeah, the listening room. There's so many good places. When people come in, they go hit Broadway and hit the bars and maybe hit Winners Losers. But the fact that there are places that they can go, and of course everybody wants to go to Bluebird, and that's wonderful. But there are good places all around town. You can really go hear original music, and you can hear the stories behind the music.
Can I just give a shout out to Debbie Champion? I love it that a female is behind that soundboard because I have no idea what's going on all those buttons, but she gets everybody on stage and she makes them sound amazing.
You got her little microphone and she says,
she is so great.
Maxson to the stage right now.
And she is so efficient.
TJ, get away from the stage. You're not a singer.
Everybody quiet down. Somebody's singing. I really want to talk about, so you recently in 2018, you were a co-writer on 12 songs, Irish traditional country songs for an artist, Jordan Mogi, and he's an award-winning artist for Loving You. Now, when you do Irish songwriting. How is that? Because do you like research or do you know a lot about the culture? How do you do that?
You're Irish, though. Your coloring looks Irish. No, seriously, you have some Irish in you?
Pinch is very skinned.
Actually, I am Irish.
Wow.
Back when, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
It kind of happened. Yeah, it happened by accident. I'd written some songs that Mary Duff, one of my songs that I wrote with Garth, Mary Duff recorded, and she, on that album, she did 3 of my songs. And the record label then called me up and asked me would I like to write with this young, talented kid. I said, sure. So it's kind of weird. So we started writing through, FaceTime, and then it was about maybe 9 months later, a year later, he came to America and visited, and he stayed with us, and we just became good friends.
So he's not even from the U.S. Amazing.
No, he lives in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And, very, very, very talented young man, and his album was voted like the. And I get him mixed up because it got a lot of awards. Gerald Smith and I wrote with him every week for about a year and a half.
That's cool.
And so Gerald and I and Jordan, we put up all 12 songs on that album, and then it was voted like the country album of the year out of Ireland.
That is amazing. You're getting recognition overseas.
Cool. Yeah, well, it is. God works in mysterious ways. Who would ever thunk it? So.
Well, we're going to close out with your song in just a little bit, but I want you to tell us the story behind the song.
Yeah, there was really good. I think there's really good messages in the song because you need to be living in the present moment. You can't be thinking, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm going to do that, next year. You really need to. It's kind of like like New Year's resolutions, like do it now.
So talk to us about the story behind the song and kind of explain what you would say if you're up on stage of the Bluebird and telling people they're about to hear the song.
Well, for me, there's a lot of things. So I wrote it with 2 people, 2 of my dearest friends, Adam James DeBolt and Melissa Trahan. And so, as you both know, I went through a divorce, and
I'm sorry.
It happens, and I have no ill will. Things happened, and we move on. But it was crushing at the time, and so I decided I was never going to get married again. And then I met Cindy.
Cindy is
Good,
wonderful.
Dude. I thought you were talking about Cindy. I'm like,
I was going to say, shout out to Cindy because we love her. She's been to some of our songwriter nights.
Y'all are a great looking couple, and man. Like, hold on a minute.
We saw you blowing kisses to her in the audience, and she's
You never
a
blow
pretty
me
lady.
kisses in the radio station.
Well, she was the reason. So we were literally, we both came out of divorces, and we were both not going to get married again. And we met each other, and it was magic.
That's neat.
And we were talking about some of the things that we never did before because of fear, obligations, all sorts of things. And you get tied up, and I worked, I left music for many years. I worked in the consumer electronics business selling audio, but I left songwriting for many years. And whenever the divorce happened, the good thing out of it was that it brought me back to Nashville to write again. And so God works in mysterious ways. And then I met Cindy. And we were just talking one time, and it hit me that we wanted to make memories. We didn't want to have dreams because we were talking about things we wanted to do. And that was the hook line. So I was at a writer's retreat with Adam and Melissa, and I said, I don't know how this thing's going to come out, but I want to die with memories, not dreams. I want to live. And so everything in that song, I can't say, I got to make sure I don't say it was just me because Adam and Alyssa are incredible writers, and they it was more than a collaboration. But I think each one of us kind of felt that inside of us that there's so many things we want to do, and we don't do them out of fear, out of obligations, out of all sorts of stupid reasons. And the next thing you know, you're an old person, and you have nothing, and the chances to do them are over. So anyway, I can philosophize all I want. I think we nailed the sentiment in that song, and that's probably one of my top, in terms of what I love, probably one of my top 3 songs of all time.
Can I ask where you and Cindy met?
We met in divorce care.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's a group, churches have these groups it's a nationwide thing called divorce care.
Yeah.
And my story, and we'll tell you different stories, but my story was I went to the first meeting I went to, and I'm breaking down crying and all this. And about 10 minutes into the meeting, this beautiful, tall, attractive blonde walks in, sits down beside me, and doesn't say a word. When the meeting's over, an hour later, she gets up and walks out on her phone. We did not speak to each other, not even hi, how are you, anything for the next year. But then they approached us individually by starting another group, and they asked if we would co-lead it. And I agreed, she agreed.
Oh my goodness!
We met at a meeting, a leadership meeting, and the minute we started talking, we never shut up.
Oh, that is
It was
sweet.
magic.
Are you still doing your Airbnb in Nashville?
Yes, we do. And if you ever want to come stay with a Nashville songwriter, we can sleep comfortably 12. We've had as many as 20 up there, but it's 2,400 square foot. It's called Chateau on Monroe.
Nice.
And we love to host people. And speaking of house concerts, we offer up to our people for an extra fee, of course, a house concert. Well, I'll bring in people like Adam, Victory, Alyssa, and we'll put on a little house concerts for you.
I know your requirement is 20 people, so there you go. You can hold 20 people. I like the way you tied all that in together.
And you're in a really great area in Nashville. You're in the borough. It's Germantown, so it's
close.
Down
to Germantown, down by the ball
close to
field,
downtown.
The new Tennessee State Museum.
Just a few minutes from downtown, so if people stay in your Airbnb, they can Uber downtown in like less than 5 minutes.
It's a really good walking area down there,
and it's a really pretty of sidewalks. Yeah, you can walk around and enjoy it.
There's a lot of good. What's your favorite? I love talking about food, and we haven't even done that the whole show.
I know. Let's talk about food.
What's your favorite place to eat at down there around where you live?
And I like Sedona Tap House. I really like it a lot.
I don't think we've been there.
We haven't hit Germantown very much.
Yeah, it's on Germantown. It's on, I think it's 3rd Avenue. It's 3rd and maybe one block off of Jefferson Street.
If people like Franklin, if people like Franklin, I think Germantown is like a small Franklin, a small version of the little like Franklin Square.
They did a really good job building it, rebuilding it.
Yeah, Germantown is so cool.
But there's the German Festival that's down there. And the ball field, and we've done some volunteer work for, is it St. Jude that we did, and we did a walk, and we did some promotions for.
Right, the Rosa Parks Park.
Yeah, and then the Rosa Parks has so many things out there at the Bicentennial Park is there. And so all this is basically at the river.
And there's a museum.
This is just if you go down Broadway and hit all the bars, take a left when you get to 3rd and 2nd. And then if you go far, about a mile or so.
A lot of culture around there.
It's pretty close. Yeah, so people need to, everybody can enjoy Broadway, but there's so many more hot pockets. And we really don't talk about Germantown areas.
Have you been to Demas's downtown, Kent?
In the CMT building?
Demas's downtown.
It looks like it says Demos. I think it's still Demos.
Yeah.
DEM apostrophe DEM.
Still has a connection with that place.
It's great. Well, the first one I went to was in Murfreesboro, and then we were like, oh my gosh, it's downtown. So I took TJ. My favorite, I think it's the seafood stuffed potato. It's really good.
It's okay.
And it comes with monkey sauce, which is Alfredo.
The one time I actually got to host at CMT is the first year I lived there, and I was doing a veterans and honoring, I think it was fallen heroes. And I got to go up there, and I didn't really know anybody or anything, but I knew a few people, and I got to host all those things. And so I went to Demos, but I thought it was Demos. But no, I went to Demos. You went to Demos's.
Demos's. You know what's really funny about
right
Demos's?
There at the corner.
One of the most southern things other than grits that I've tried here, and I think I did try a little bit of this. They bring you tea, like they bring you unsweet tea, and on the table,
I would go right back.
On the table, they have simple syrup.
Okay.
So you put simple syrup in your unsweet tea, and you make it sweet yourself. So, and it's in like a syrup container, kind of like they have it like IHOP. And some people are just simple stirring it up, and I'm like, this is like the sweetest thing, which is, I think it's Cairo syrup actually. So they have Cairo syrup, and you put it in your tea, which is, amazing if you like the sweet tea. But
Philip's eager to hear your song. We're going to go and jump into it.
Yes,
is that okay?
Ken, thank you so much for your time today. And can you tell everybody where to find you and where to buy your music and connect with you?
Sure. I have my website, Kent Maxson, spelled Maxson. So it's KentMaxson.com. Or look me up on Facebook. There's I have a page there also. It's Kent Maxson Songwriter.
And introduce your song one more time.
This is called Memories, Not Dreams.
Go check this out.
Thank you, Kent. We hope to see you and Cindy soon. God bless you both.
It's been written on pages and stone, but it's just words until it hits home. Life is shorter than you think, and the truth is another day is never guaranteed. You're born and suddenly you're 16. The next morning you wake up at 53. Those one day, someday plans you had, they never came to life. You say you never had the chance. Everybody's time is gonna come. That's the one thing we can all count on. I don't know when it will be, but when it's my time to leave, I wanna die with memories, not dreams. I don't know how much time I have left, but I know I don't want to have any regrets. Working bills and income taxes, life fills up with these distractions. Before you know it, you're looking back and wondering what happened. Everybody's time is gonna come. That's the one thing we can all count on. I don't know when it will be, but when it's my time to leave, I wanna die with memories, not dreams. I'm gonna take that trip and call that friend. Tell the ones I love them again. Do all the things I always said, and maybe a few I didn't yet. Everybody's time is gonna come. That's the one thing we can all count on. I don't know when it will be, but when it's my time to leave, I wanna die with memories. I wanna die with memories, not dreams. Not dreams.
That was Ken
Maxson
coming in at the top 40. Did
Thank
you ever
you, Kent.
know Casey Kasem? Did I already have this conversation?
Yeah.
It's
Host. Mhm.
Yeah, it was really cool. I remember the Casey Kasem top
This has
20
been Jill
countdown.
Santibanez, Memphis Entertainment
TJ
Weekly.
Cates.
Thank you.
NC State last night. They'll play in the championship game tomorrow afternoon.